Welcome to Valley Spotlight and happy Sunday, everybody. We are hanging out with our good friend CharBenay. Oh, and look, there's Michael.
Here I am, back from the sniffles, and I'm ready to go. So,
and Char, you're back in action, right?
Yes, we are.
You've had quite a year, darling.
Yes.
We're glad you're okay.
Yes.
And we're glad that this place is still thriving and you're growing, and the wine, always amazing.
Not so bad for it.
Not so bad.
Cheers.
A taping.
Cheers
Right.
to 2022. Michael, to you too, darling.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And so I was going to say, we have
All right, why don't we just start with what you guys are doing, since it's Sunday. The Sunday brunch is really toward the afternoon, right?
Yeah, we open 11 to 6 on Sunday. It's brunch all day, but we also have the regular menu.
Okay.
And we're doing lots of events on Sunday, so fun times.
They have events. They have something every single night, starting from Wednesday all the way through Sunday.
And if you have never been here before, this is your chance to sort of get a taste and like a glimpse of what these folks here are capable of. I mean, your chef and your winemakers and everything that you guys do together really comes full circle once you're in this space. But we've got, sushi nights, we've got burger nights. We've got a
fish fry.
We've got a bourbon night coming up, right, Char?
Yes, burgers and bourbon. And we actually talked to Boom Boom.
Right.
We know him.
Just a little bit ago, and he's going to do a special appearance that night.
So burgers are on what, Thursdays?
Burgers and booze are on Saturdays.
Okay.
But February 4th, we're going to have a special bourbon and burgers with tasting of 3 or 4 different types of burgers and different bourbons. So it's going to be a fun night. So it's reservations only, so please call.
Okay.
I also see that there's a wing night.
Yeah, I know.
On Wednesdays.
I just had some chicken wings the other day. I miss chicken
really?
wings. They're like $4 million when you go out now. Thank you for keeping the price low.
Yes,
We appreciate it.
We have chicken wings for 10. We also have, for the healthy people, cauliflower wings.
We're not here. That's not us.
I'm not interested.
But they are delicious, and we have 4 different sauces to go on them, so you really should try us on a Wednesday night.
I have to ask, this whole year, keeping costs down, like Michael just said, and just keeping up with inventory and staffing.
I gotta tell you, it's been tough.
That's a challenge, isn't it?
Yes, this whole last 2 years, I opened 6 months before COVID.
Yeah. And then, I think it was just
It's
like
a roller
a
coaster,
tumultuous
hasn't it?
roller coaster ever since then. But now you do have some expanded party rooms for smaller weddings.
Absolutely. We have
events.
a banquet room now for small weddings, any events. We have a lot of graduation parties, bridal showers.
They even have a stage back there.
Yes, there's a stage when we
You
have.
don't need to be up on it yet, all right?
maybe
Just sit down.
When we have big bands there on the stage, and we put customers back there. So any type of event, even if it's a bereavement, we have it all.
I'm just so proud of you, and she's such a wonderful lady, and so is her team. So we'll have more on the wine and a little bit more at the end of the show when it comes to these special events. But Mike, I'm just a little bit tiny jealous.
I know.
I'm jealous.
The classic cars. Like when I think of a classic car, I think of like maybe the 50s and 60s. But it really depends on your age. Just depends on how old you are to where you view that classic car. But Haus Auto Group in Canfield is doing things and expanding because the business has been so good.
I remember going to car shows with my dad. Don't drag your feet, you could kick rocks, don't touch this. There's the etiquette, the car etiquette.
Youngstown has always been a car town, especially for Chris Haus and his family.
When I grew up, I actually didn't think I was going to do anything else other than be in the car business. Like, that was my mindset. So,
And here we are.
Here we are, yeah, 42 years later.
Chris grew up working at a car dealership for his dad, and his dad, Ron, did the same. They know the business of used cars, and they love it.
We've been selling pre-owned vehicles in Mahoning Valley since in the mid-50s. If we sat down with a piece of paper, we could probably spend an hour or two writing down all the cars that we've bought and sold since I'm saying since I was born.
But the last couple of years in the car business have been a little bit different.
It's definitely something I've never seen, and we've been in it forever with inventory stock and dealerships not having enough cars and the price increase of certain vehicles and most vehicles. it's definitely been a crazy couple years, to say the least.
No microchips? No problem. The Haus Auto Group has its selection of used cars and a giant, diverse collection of classic cars that are selling like crazy.
People contacting us and saying, hey, I think my car is probably worth more now than it was before. And not just late model stuff. This is the old stuff is going up as well.
That has done a couple of things for Chris and his family. First, people want to sell their classics and make a good buck.
We've always dealt in classics and low mileage pre-owned cars. That's kind of what we're known for, is just to have that really, this guy drove this car, it had 500 miles on it. No way, where'd you get a car with 500 miles on it? And that's just stuff we've been doing for years. And with the pandemic and the price of cars, things have kind of, escalated.
And second, his knowledge and experience combine to make it even more enjoyable.
With the car business, a little nerve-wracking, but after you figure it out, it's kind of fun. There's a lot of technology that gives us answers, like pricing tools, etc. And it took the gut out of the car business. So you were always able to go online and this is exactly what you should sell it for, and this is exactly what you should pay for it. And when the market changed and was changing as fast as it was, it brings it back to what we used to do years ago with the gut and just knowing the market. So you had to stay on top of things, and that made it fun again.
And that's what makes it even better. It's the fact that most of their inventory comes from right here in the Valley.
A lot of the classic stuff we buy locally. A lot of it we sell locally, but a lot of it we buy from other states and we ship to other states. Believe it or not, there's a lot of old cars in this area, more than people might know. You'd be amazed the phone calls we get, and then we go to the houses and we're like, where have you been all my life? And they're just sitting there, really. I mean, there's a lot of stuff locally, lots.
So Chris and his gang always have an eye out for that special vehicle. Low miles, good condition. They buy them up, they fix them up, and they're out the door.
We don't really keep them too long. We try to price them aggressive to sell and give it a good home.
How do you get the word out?
It's been word of mouth. We advertise on social media and stuff like that, but honestly, a lot of it, if you buy one car off of somebody and they're happy with the experience, they're generally going to tell somebody else.
Because of their success, the Haus family had to buy this storage facility right down the road in Canfield.
And we said, we don't really have a lot of space outside to put more stuff. Plus, obviously with the 12 inches of snow and all that stuff, this stuff can't sit outside. So we said it's time to we have enough cars and we're doing enough business with this where we need a different space to put this stuff so that not only we have to clean it once and service it once, but where it can stay safe and we have them on our website. For everybody in the world to see, and we do ship stuff everywhere.
Meanwhile, the market keeps growing, and people are excited about finding their next classic.
As the years go by, classic is different for everybody. Right. Classic's going to be different for my son as it is for me, and it's different for me as it is for my father,
So Chris and his family are prepared. They know the market, and they've already adapted and expanded. So whether you're selling or buying, they can get you in gear.
You know how Youngstown is, and if you treat people right and you do the right thing and you take care of them and you give them what they want for their cars and take care of them, then I think that itself is going to spread. You know what I mean?
Feel that? Feel the power? So how fun is that?
Amazing.
Yeah, so if you have a used car he finds these people all the time. He just told me there's one in the showroom. If you go in the showroom right now, or Monday, there's a Mustang in there that he found from some nice lady in Poland, had like 5,000 miles on it.
It's amazing the resale value of these cars right now.
Yes.
It's astronomical.
So if you ever wanted to sell it or maybe go from yours to another one, which a lot of people do, you're not going to get a better price. I mean, those guys are paying top dollar for any vehicle, and then they ship them all over the country.
It's so great to see people expanding and taking the whole thing by storm. I love it.
Yeah, it's really cool. Really cool what they're doing.
Well, Valentine's Day is coming up, and of course, Bistro 1907, near and dear to our hearts on this show. So on the other side of the break, this is my famous, I put all the scallions in the recipe
I love this one.
for the lobster rangoon. So stay with us, we'll be right back.
Papa Canzonetta's peppers, recipe established in 1975. A family secret is now yours to share with the people who add spice to your life. Choose from mild and hot versions, plus our famous original blend too. They're the perfect punch for any dish, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We've got the recipes to prove it. Just follow us on Facebook, order online at papacans.com and pick your peck. papacans.com, order 6 jars or more and qualify for free shipping. We like it hot. We're glad you do too.
Welcome back to CharBenay.
Right. This is her private blend. It's got a bunch of different kinds on there. I can't read it.
I
used to. I have to wear glasses now.
And it's got a Petite Sirah,
Yeah.
Cabernet Sauvignon, and a Merlot all together.
Come out and try this place. It's really wonderful.
And
Absolutely.
if you're on the other side of town in Youngstown and you're looking for a reason to go to Bistro 1907, Valentine's Day is coming up and he has crab rangoon on the menu. But this,
Well, it's still a twist on it.
this is the lobster rangoon with a lot of scallions. A lot.
I literally just said, this is so fun, Marcus.
It is fun.
Right?
It is. Cooking is fun. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be approachable. You're not supposed to be afraid of it.
And there's nothing to be afraid of here at the Bistro
No.
1907
No.
Test Kitchen, which the one, the only.
Hi.
I always say it that way. Mark Canzonetta.
Okay.
What are we doing today, darling?
We are going to make some, not just crab rangoon, but we're going to go one step further. We're going to make lobster rangoon. You know, we're going to kick it up a notch. We're going to use lobster claw and knuckle meat, cream cheese. We're going to add some American ingredients into it. We're going to add some roasted corn, a little bit of scallions, and then just a little bit of heat with a little bit of sriracha. So we're going to start off with some good cream cheese and start off with a good quality cream cheese. You know that brand that comes from Philadelphia. You want to use that, you can use that. So we're going to add the lobster meat. And be generous with your friends. You know, you can get lobster meat from your local grocer, which makes it a lot easier. Some roasted corn, some scallions.
Okay.
We're gonna hit it with, well, that could have been a little bit too much scallion, but that's okay. A pinch of salt, a pinch of pepper. Lauren, you want to put some hot sauce in there?
Do you want me to take some of this?
No, that's fine. We'll fold it in. We'll make it work. So go ahead and add some of that beautiful hot sauce, the sriracha sauce, the rooster sauce, as the chefs like to say, and we're gonna mix this all together.
I like it, so.
So this is gonna be a little bit challenging because we have a little bit of scallions in here, but that's all right.
I'm sorry, Mark.
That's okay. That's
Look
okay.
at that.
And we're
Okay,
just
so-
folding this all together. We're mixing it up. Make sure your cream cheese is at room temperature so it's easy to fold in. I can smell the sriracha. I can smell that beautiful lobster meat, the roasted corn. You know, we got summer's coming up, so you got Molnar Farms going to be ready to have some corn, you know, as long as it's knee high by the 4th of July.
That's what we
should have some
want.
corn soon after that. All right, so we're mixing this all
This
together.
is what we call teamwork.
This is
on
teamwork.
Valley Spotlight.
Yes. So you're getting a nice filling because you're going to have all those different flavors and texture. You got the smoothness of the cream cheese, the richness of that going against the luxurious ingredient of that lobster meat. And then you got the super simple sweetness of that roasted corn and then that brightness of the chive or scallion, whichever one you want to do. Okay, I think we're good enough.
Did I do it?
We're close enough, as my father would say, for government work. We're going to push that off to the side. Okay? I've got a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. That's okay. We're just going to push that off just like that. And we're going to start to make the rangoons. So we're going to take these little beautiful wonton wrappers.
Oh, they're perfect.
And you can almost see through them.
Yeah, you can.
So they're very, very thin. And we're just going to lay these out. And we can do this a couple different ways. We can make a couple different shapes. But the one thing you do have to do is you have to take a little bit of egg yolk and go around the outside to make sure it seals it up.
Okay.
So we're just going to take a little bit of this filling. We're going to put it in the middle.
Just a
Now you can do the classic shape like this, the fold over, the simple triangle.
Our guys on the set were asking you which fold was your favorite, and you said this is it, but there's one that is
There's
more...
one that I like a little bit better than that. We're gonna make it a little fancy, as my daughter Gina would say, fancy. And she's in Tampa, Florida, and she loves to cook with me. So as you know, she was on Guys Grocery Games with me, and we took that championship
and you guys
home.
won.
Okay, so now you can take and make this a little bit fancier. You want to bring the sides up, and it's going to be a little bit fancy like that.
Oh, I'm gonna have to try this.
You can try it.
All right.
Okay.
I did wash my hands.
And it's going to look like a little pot sticker almost. So you can do that.
All right, I'm doing this. Is that too much? That's way too much.
That might be a little bit too much, but that's okay.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we can start from scratch. That's why the magic of TV, we have plenty of backups, and we can put a little bit in there, just like that.
Little less, Lauren.
A little bit less.
More is not always.
And this is
better.
fun. This is one of those interactive things you can do with your friends. You can do with your family. It creates a buzz in the room. You know, you're making the food you're going to be eating later.
I am doing this, Mark, whether it,
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
So that looks like one of my Grandma Canzonetta's ones, because she made the big raviolis.
I want the big one.
That's going to be the big one.
I want a big one. If I'm going to eat it, I want to do it like I mean it, you know? Oh, Mark.
Okay, so we're gonna make a bunch more of these, and when we come back, we're gonna make the Yum Yum dipping sauce to go with this. We're gonna throw them in the deep fryer, crisp them up, and then we're gonna serve them to our guests.
The Yum Yum sauce, I can't wait. All right, I need to work on this. There you go. I'll be right back.
No hot water? Call A to Z Dependable Services. Our fully stocked rapid response water heater specialist will get you back in hot water in no time. A to Z is the only call you need to make.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. I'm constantly asked by news sources how to best navigate today's real estate market. I call the brightest agents in the business to get their input. Hi, Kelly. What's going on in the Mahoney Valley area?
Hi, Barbara. The market in the Mahoning Valley has remained strong.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Sellers are enjoying the safety of the Guaranteed Sold program, and buyers and sellers love the 3D tour and the free moving truck.
Get the best advice from my friend Kelly Warren. Go to kellysoldit.com. Be safe and smart.
All right, Mark, we did some frying.
We did.
Of these lobster rangoons.
We did.
And
look at the great job you did. It took you just one try. The next one you were on your game.
I was going to say, I really tried to fry them the right way.
You did.
And
350 degree oil. A good clean canola oil that's got a nice smoking point, which means it can fry things without smoking and burning the product that it's cooking in. So now it's time for some yum yum.
That is the best part. And Ron, our photographer, God bless him, he
is the king of yum yum sauce?
No, he told me the other day that he doesn't really like it very much, and I looked at him.
Well, maybe we're going to turn the tide today with
right,
him.
and
we're going to bring him to the dark side.
So it's
we have some heavy mayonnaise, your favorite mayonnaise, not Miracle Whip mayonnaise. You want to have that creaminess of the mayonnaise. Your favorite ketchup, we make our own here at Bistro 1907.
Which means
some
this is going to be the best version of this
We're
sauce
going to add some rice vinegar, a little bit of rice vinegar. We're going to add a little bit of mirin, that sweet Japanese wine.
Okay.
We're going to add a little bit of agave just for a touch more sweetness.
Okay, this is not the recipe that I've always
Well,
made.
you know, we work on things a little bit here. We try them out. A little bit of granulated onion, a little bit of granulated garlic.
I told him that.
And we're going to add some smoked paprika to give it a little bit of a smoky flavor, kick it up a little bit.
All right, let's. Oh gosh, I'm
That's
so
okay.
sorry.
We'll just go like this.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't. What are you sorry for? We're just going to mix it together. We're going to add a pinch of salt, of course, and a little bit of fresh ground pepper. But we're going to make that famous yum yum sauce that everybody knows and loves, and that's why they call it yum yum sauce. I'm going to actually borrow your whisk. Go ahead and whisk that up a little bit.
I was gonna say, please let me do something without making a mess in this one segment.
That's okay. You're bringing it together. Look at the flavors going together there. That looks great.
Really,
okay.
very
So
very
now we're going
nice.
to pull this to the side.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's make a little mix for like these guys right over there. Oh, that is nice right there.
Great yum yum sauce.
Look at the
All right.
color. It's exactly the same color as they slap on your plate at the hibachi house.
So now we're going to take and bring this beautiful platter of the crab rangoon. We're going to take some of that wonderful yum yum sauce.
And this is it, man?
That's it right there.
This is it. Okay.
And people drink this by the quart. We have some pickled watermelon radish, some daikon, some regular radish. You can pick up your favorite shape, color, go into that yum yum sauce.
You do realize I'm going to have to do all of this at once, right? My mom would get mad at me.
Oh my God. Lobster, yum yum sauce, crispy rangoon. It's a winner winner.
This is going to be on your menu forever.
I hope so.
Forever. This is so good. Bistro 1907, downtown Youngstown.
Come get some yum yum sauce.
Some yum yum sauce. You will not be disappointed. Can I just take this with me?
You can.
Okay.
All right. Cheers, everybody.
There you have it.
Yeah. Just a little
I'm a
heavy.
good rangoon
Just a little
person.
heavy. His face. Like, he's like, he didn't want to yell, but like in deep down, the Italian part of him wanted to go, what are you got?
I know, and like God bless him for being so nice to me. But if you are looking for a great place to go, we know that Valentine's Day is on a Monday this year, but you can make reservations for the weekend before at bistro1907.com if that is where you're looking to go. And I promise I had nothing to do with making the crab rangoons.
We'll let the real chefs take it from there. All right, back from CharBenay's with more after this.
Just a moment.
And it really all started with salt, with Himalayan sea salt. That's where it all started because of a patient who came in and told me about the benefits of salt therapy, which is inhaling Himalayan sea salt, an aerosolized Himalayan sea salt. And I found that my patients were having fantastic results using salt therapy, and I wanted to know how could I incorporate the Himalayan sea salt into products that would benefit the sinuses and the skin. And that's where Salt Me was born.
Welcome back to CharBenay's by the river, and or is it on the river? It's right next to the river.
It's on the river.
I'm telling you, you just come over the bridge from downtown Warren, and it's on the right-hand side, and we've had a lot of fun this morning.
We have. It's just flying by, and we're hoping that you guys find a reason to come out here. Every single night of the week, they have a special or some kind of, interesting dish that their chefs here are baller.
Yeah, and we'll visit with them more in just a little bit. But first, I want to tell you about a high school guy that's
I cannot wait for this one.
This is really cool. If you're ever on TikTok or Snapchat, you're going to love this. It's a young man who's in high school but paints on shoes, and there's no business like shoe business.
I am doing the city background now.
That's the skyline?
Yep.
Meet Chance Lasko. If you're from Struthers, you might already know him. He plays baseball, basketball, and golf for the high school. In fact, he won the Northeast State Golf Tournament in the fall.
Me and my friend Chaz, we played really well, but in that NE8 tournament, I just played really well. I was feeling it all day, and I ended up coming first, and then my buddy who's on my team came in second.
But if you're on Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok, you probably know him for this, painting tennis shoes.
When I started on my own shoes, it was, I just saw it on YouTube when I was just like scrolling through social media, and I was like, I just want to try this. I've always been like an artsy person, and I did a pair of my own. I hid it from my parents and everyone.
Yeah, painting on an expensive pair of shoes can get you in trouble, but it turned out his parents were all about it.
I was nervous because she bought the shoes for me, and I thought she was gonna get mad at me for painting on them. So. And then my mom found them, and she actually like really loved them for like the start of it. And then I got one of my friends to get on it and like get a pair done by me. So that's how it started.
It started a couple of years ago, and it's been growing pair after pair ever since.
I posted them on my Snapchat story, and all my friends loved it, and they just told me to keep going, and a lot of people gave me their shoes, and from there it just took off. It's a leather paint, specifically for shoes so that the paint doesn't come off. I also use airbrush and a Cricut that helps me do designs and stuff.
Most of the Struthers starting lineup has their shoes done by Chance, and people just keep sending work his way.
They're really crazy shoes, but our coaches don't really care about the shoes, but everybody likes them. Like our athletic director loves them, and all the kids love them. So I wanted to really put a lot of Youngstown stuff on here, a lot of stuff that represented the city, and that's where all this inspiration came from. I'm doing a pair for myself actually. It's a Youngstown City themed pair. At a bunch of like really important locations in Youngstown, what Youngstown's known for and stuff, like the Penguin and Youngstown football and stuff.
But it's not just Youngstown. Chance can do just about anything, and he's had some very popular designs.
The Louis Vuitton pair has really been the most popular, but my favorite pair has been like the Youngstown shoes. I've done like a few for my friends, like the Penguin. I did the Space Jam pair, which is up there. That's been really popular too. I think it's awesome because I can take something that's really plain and make it into something that's really cool.
The money he makes, Chance reinvests into paints and supplies, or, you guessed it, buys more shoes. So whether it's a basketball shoe or a soccer shoe or whatever, Chance is making big strides in the sneakerhead community.
I've been posting on like TikTok and YouTube a lot, and I've really gained a lot of followers. I have like 30,000 followers on TikTok, and if I can keep building on that, I really think it could be something special.
Good luck to Chance and the Struthers Wildcat basketball team.
All
like to
those-
see all the guys on the team with the painted shoes.
I love that.
It's pretty fun.
I'm cheersing you on
Yeah.
this one. That is an excellent
cool
story.
Yeah.
Excellent. And you had a chance to finally catch up with Kelly Warren. I
Right.
feel like you haven't had a moment with her lately, and she, unfortunately, she lost her dad just a few days ago, and so we're just simply glad to see her smiling and feeling as vibrant as she is, and dealing with some stuff that we're all dealing with right now.
Yeah, and dealing with some snow, so that shouldn't scare you from selling your home. Oh, we're taking the home advantage segment outside because the sun finally came out, proving there is a sun in the wintertime in Northeast Ohio, Western Pennsylvania. All right, home advantage here, and we're talking about sales when it is wintertime, which it used to be, you'd say, well, I'm going to get my house ready and put it on the market in the spring. Those days are over, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, we still have people who say that, but we encourage them, like we have pre-approved buyers ready to purchase today. There's no sense in waiting.
Okay, so hey, we had a foot of snow in the last week, and it's maybe going to get a little bit better, but we're right in the middle of winter time. So how's the market right now here in this area and in Western PA?
The market is really hot. It's been a very strong market, and even though it did take its typical winter dip a little bit, that slowdown is still busier than some of our busy springs in past years.
Yeah. Why does it take a dip? Is it just because people just don't want to go out in it?
Both. I think the holiday season, that Thanksgiving through New Year's, people get sidetracked. They've got plans, you've got to bake Christmas cookies and wrap presents, so they're not looking at real estate as much as they were.
Right.
After we get past that, it's really weather dependent. I've seen some very busy and some very slow January, Februarys, depending on the weather. This year, where you would think we'd be slow with all the snow, it has not slowed down that much. It is still a very busy year just because the market has been so high.
If I'm selling, let's say I don't live here anymore and my house is on the market, is it my job to plow the driveway and stuff, or does the realtor handle it, or who does it?
The homeowner's responsible. Just like in the summer, if you don't live in the house, you're still responsible to cut your own grass. So in the winter, you're responsible to shovel your own snow, get it plowed, whatever. If you don't have a showing that day or that week, you could wait a couple days for the weather to calm down and let it melt. But if you get 4 inches of snow and there's a showing tomorrow morning, I would definitely have the driveway done.
And then would it be smart to put some things down inside, because everybody just kind of tracks in snow with their shoes,
or
right?
a little sign about remove your shoes or whatever.
Yeah. Are there open houses anymore?
Open houses are still a thing. They are less than they used to be because, before you'd read the newspaper, have 2 little lines, and you'd need to go see the house. Now you can go on the computer and see 30 pictures of the house, maybe even a virtual tour. So less people are going to the open house.
All right, I'm going to ask you for some advice. During this time of the year, a little bit for the seller and one little tip for the buyer.
Okay.
Let's start with the seller first. What should I be thinking if it's January and I want to put my house on the market?
Now do it.
Do it.
There's less competition right now, less sellers on the market because other people are saying, let me wait till spring.
Okay.
And there are pre-approved buyers ready to buy right now.
Okay, and if I'm the buyer?
If you're the buyer, keep looking, be patient. There are not as many houses for sale today as there will be in March and April.
How frustrated are people?
It's a frustrating market.
It's tough, isn't it?
It's a frustrating market for buyers. Sellers are super happy. happy.
Sure,
it's sold in a
sure.
week. You got over asking price, nothing to complain about.
Yeah, but I would think that you guys are in the calm it down business very often these days.
We deal with both, so our emotions are up and down.
All right, if people want to get a hold of you or your team, let's go website and phone number for them.
Online at kellysoldit.com, or you can give me a call or a text at 330-717-2689.
All right, the times have changed. It's okay to sell or buy the house in the winter time. That's another edition of Home Advantage. Thankfully, we picked a day that it was kind of nice out.
Kind of.
A little bit cold.
It's
going to warm up, right?
Eventually. I feel like this is the coldest, snowiest winter we've had in a long
We need a break.
time.
We need a break.
Hey, we also need a little bit of a break before we come back with Char.
Oh, okay.
Is
Let's
that okay?
take one of those breaks, and then we'll come back and tell you more about CharBenay's, including the cool way they found the name in the first place.
Cooking classes and sushi night too.
Oh.
Baby.
Yeah, wait till you hear.
Here's is the low-cost living anti-inflation department store.
Shop Hills in the Liberty, Lincoln Knolls, and Boardman Plaza's Youngstown, and the Ridgeview Plaza in Warren, and the Hills location in Champion, all open 10 till 10 daily.
Happy Sunday, everybody, and cheers.
We're back.
Cheers to having Char back on the show.
Char Butcher and Ben
Natalie
started the name.
And actually, we got the name years ago.
Oh, really?
We were going to open a small little country winery at our home in Champion.
Really?
Got its own, did the whole 9 yards, and then, you know, I was introduced to this building and had a vision.
Fell
and here we
in
are.
love, as you should.
How much did you change at the place?
Well, the entire, Mark Marvin, the developer, helped, he designed the whole thing, and, you know, we both agreed the Tuscan venue was what we both wanted, and
I think you hit it.
He was amazing, and we worked really well together, and
Even
his
down
wife
to the,
Lori
even
just
down to the
helped me.
bathroom sinks.
I know.
Like the whole, every
Yes. Really
neat.
single
Yes.
element of this place
really
is just amazing.
Him and his wife were amazing in, you know,
It looks great.
creating the vision.
It looks great. Tell me about, there's so many things going on, and we'll talk about them as we go, but I want to hear about the cooking classes, because I'm always interested in stuff
Yes, we're trying to do cooking classes maybe once a month, you know, in the future. We've had different ones. In the summertime, we have, you know, the barbecue where he shows you how to do the whole thing, and you actually cook it yourself.
nice.
And then you can either eat it or
Except for
box
you.
it up.
Good.
But this month, or February, we're having a cooking class for dessert. So they'll be learning how to make chocolate torte, and, you know, I'm sure there's some chocolate covered strawberries involved, and, you know, so.
I don't have to open the Duncan Hines box anymore.
No,
that's
no.
that's a good. That's a good.
It's a
move.
really fun time, and you drink while you cook.
Oh,
so
yeah, what could go wrong?
you know, he pairs, you know, your desserts. So
And there's sushi night too. And
Yeah.
a lot of the area restaurants I know, Michael Arborini's and, Ottavio, they do their versions of sushi night, but then to see some of the pictures and the quality of the things that you guys are doing right here in downtown Warren.
Yes.
I gotta say,
Special stuff.
it's so cool.
Yes.
All right, give them the website and the phone number in case they do want to call today, because you're open.
Yes.
And set up your chance to go to the cooking class or whatever.
Yes, we're open for Sunday.
Yeah.
11 to 6, so call within those hours. If we don't get you, you can leave a message. Our number is 234-806-4913, or you can go to our website, CharBenay.com, and
Let's check all the good pictures and all that
Find
good
out
stuff.
more there.
All right.
Hang
loose. We're going to be back with you in a little bit, okay?
Alrighty.
All right.
But first, before we say goodbye, we had a chance to sit down with Pastor Doug from Rush City Church. And if you have never heard this man speak yet, this is the moment that it could change the whole game for you. The 5 F's as we start the new year.
Okay.
Well, as we greet 2022, we figured we'd sit down with Pastor Doug here at Rust City Church. Happy New Year,
Happy
Pastor.
New Year to you too. How are you doing?
We're good. We're good. We have really, on our team level, really enjoyed getting to know you and your staff and some of the unbelievably remarkable things that you guys do that all stem from here. So on a personal note and a team note, so great. And the past 6 months have been tremendous for us to be able to walk with you guys, learn more. And that's why I want to start off this 2022 with exactly how you start your year.
Yeah.
And how your mindset is when it comes to not just your faith, but your family, your lifestyle, all of those things, because I think it's really easy the way that you break it down for people.
Well,
It's
thanks.
true.
Part of my life journey is to help people, right? That's what
Yeah.
pastors do. We want to help people figure out their faith, but even more than that, we want to help people take steps forward in life. You know, it's great to go to church and we celebrate that, but more than that, it's really walking through your personal journey of figuring out who you are and why you even exist. And so every year I go through what are called my 5 Fs. Okay, Fs, the letter Fs.
The letter F, that's an easy one for me to remember.
5 Fs, okay, and I go through these and they're in order, and this is my priorities to make sure that I stay healthy as an individual.
Okay.
Because it's pretty easy to get unhealthy.
Very quickly.
Today's world, right?
Yes.
COVID crazy, all the fun things, it can be very easy to go into a landslide.
Yep.
And so I go through these pretty regularly, but every new year I do this, okay?
All right, so let's start with the first F.
First F is I focus on my faith. Where is my faith? It's my priority. Where is my connection with God? For me as a Christian, am I reading my Bible? Am I spending time with the Lord? Am I going to church? Am I spending time with other Christians? Where is my faith at? And that's really the strength where everything else in my life is where my faith comes from. Second thing is my family. What's my family life look like? My wife healthy? Are my kids? Are my parents? Am I being a good husband? Am I being a good dad?
Right.
I gotta look at these things, right?
And you got to be honest, which I think sometimes looking in the mirror and setting yourself straight is the hardest person to set straight.
Absolutely. We can tell everyone else.
Right.
It's hard to look in the mirror and look inward, right? And so I look in the mirror and say, what am I as a dad, a husband, a son, a brother? Am I being a good family member to my life, right? And so that's my second one. Then I move on, and this is a fun one for people, my finances. We live in a world today that says, spend now, think about it later. But in reality, that's not usually pretty healthy. And most people get into, not needed consumer debts, find themselves impulse buying. And I personally believe that if I have healthy finances, right, that I'm living on a budget, I'm not too deep in credit debt, and I'm a generous person with my money, that it makes me healthier as a human being. So many people want to be generous, but so often we don't have enough saved or put away to be generous.
Right.
And then we kind of lose out on some cool things that can happen in our life.
My dad is a firm believer in that, and it took me a long time to figure out that, what you give away, even when it hurts, you're going to get back tenfold.
Absolutely.
And now that I'm almost 40, right, I can say that he was right. And to hear you say it, it just echoes that I shouldn't have waited so long to realize that was important.
Well, the Bible, which is novel, you can find answers in the Bible if you look for them, right? It says this, and people know this statement, but they often don't know it comes from the Bible. It's better to give than to receive.
Yeah.
Right? And they've proven that through so many studies, so many different things. And I'll tell you, even with my own little kids, I got littles running around.
Me too, yeah.
We take them with the money they earn on their allowance and they get to go buy stuff for us, right? Like I take them to go buy stuff for their mom, and my wife takes them to buy stuff for me. They want to give us their presents before they even open up their own. They want to give us the presents they got us more than they want to get their own presents, because that's real, that's in us, that's ingrained. And so when you have your finances healthy, you can be more generous. You can
have that moment.
Absolutely.
All right, the next step.
Number 4 is, what does your future look like? So we have faith, family, finance, future.
Which most people are so bogged down in the moment that even thinking about that is hard.
And I even challenge this. People who their future is, I just got to put in the next X amount of days of work and then I can retire. I'm going to tell you, the real future is in fulfillment. Not in retirement, but hey, what fulfills my life is the future that I should be pursuing. We've all worked jobs that we didn't like.
Right.
The reality is, what we're really looking for is fulfillment and feeling like, man, this is what I was put on this earth to do. And so I always tell people, what's your future looking like? Are you working towards fulfilling your future or not? right?
I'm just thinking about what our personal team has been through and how unbelievably true that is and how difficult it is to get there. Sometimes. It is not the easiest path, but once you get there.
If you're focused on today, you got to sometimes quit working you got to stop working in your job, and sometimes you got to work on your job a little bit. You got to work on your future a little bit. And so often, I always encourage people, make a vision board. Where do you want to be in 5 years? What are your goals? What are you looking for?
See it.
You might not get that exact thing, but you'll get closer than somebody who doesn't do anything.
I agree. All right, the last, we could go on and on.
But I've got 5, so there
we got the last one. Ron's like, this is the longest interview we've done in a long time.
And the last one is your fitness. Now, I'm not saying to go be Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm not talking about going to the gym, get all bulked up. I'm saying that we have to make healthy choices with our body, because when we get older, we're going to need our bodies.
Yeah.
And we need to be healthy in our physical, what we eat, what we put in our temple, how we treat it, what we do with it. And so when you look at all 5 of those, I measure them every year. I see where I'm maybe deficient, and I work on growing in that area. And when I do that, I really find freedom on the other side of those F's.
Pastor Doug, you're so good. You're a good dude. You're a good friend. You're
awesome.
Great mind, and we're just lucky to have you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We'll continue this conversation soon.
Okay.
Safe travels. He's got lots of places to go and lots of people to see. So thank you always for the time.
I'll see you soon.
For nearly 80 years, Cafe 422 has been the Valley's premier destination for steaks, seafood, and fine Italian cuisine. Join us at Cafe 422 for lunch, dinner, and all of your special occasions. Cafe 422 in Warren and Boardman.
Welcome back to CharBenay.
Yeah, Sunday fun day with us, right?
Cheers.
Cheers.
We haven't had a Sunday fun day in a very long time.
Keep cheersing.
Right?
All right.
How many did we do this episode?
Let's take a look back.
Let's take a look back to a story that we did just a few months ago. Airbnbs, they're all the rage, but there's one in Lowville that if you don't want to go outside and you still want to play golf and you want to have all your friends over at the same time, this is the place for you. No, this is not a special edition of Home Advantage with Ray Carlson. Don't worry, Kel, you're still our lady. But we did want to show off a very special property right here in downtown Lowville. This is Ray Carlson. Ray, nice to have you back on the show.
Well, thank you.
We
won't be talking drugs today.
Wait,
we'll be talking buildings.
We're not talking about compounding anything today, but maybe a compounding effect of what you've had on Lowville. And the structure that we're in right now was built in what, like 1905?
Early 1900s, yes.
The reason why we're here is because not only is that an astounding number, but Ray has put heart and soul and effort into turning this into a place that you can come and stay and bring your family and have a great time. It's listed on Airbnb, and this kitchen is just the beginning, right? There's so much here.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool layout. The Airbnb is on the second floor. That is kind of rented separate from the first floor that has pool table, golf simulator, little wine room, sort of a thing.
You put lots of money and lots of effort into this.
9 months.
Why do it? Why do it in the first place?
I see a lot of value in the old buildings. I believe that they're going to be needed again one day for, by our children. But I had done the house right next door. And the more I looked over at this building here, the more I fell in love with it. And one thing led to the next, and told my wife, I said, I'd really like to buy that building. And so she kind of gave the okay, and
here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
I just finished it just at the time that the virus had hit. So just when I was ready to open it up, kind of closed it, but it's back open.
It's back open, and it's available on Airbnb. So you, of course, try to make sure that you keep, your investment safe and all of that. But it's very, very inexpensive to have a night here, right?
Yes. For the upstairs, it's $110. Now, if you want to use the downstairs, you won't see that part of it on Airbnb because I'm kind of restricting that. The golf simulator it's a top of the line TrackMan 4, and so I have to control the usage of that, but when you hook up on Airbnb and message me,
that's a good place to start.
We can kind of go from there as far as using the downstairs also. But Lowville is a very comfortable place to be. The tracks are 50 feet in front of the building here away. The trains going by at night are not disturbing. This building is really well insulated, new windows and everything, so it's real cozy.
And for
it's
people,
a nice cozy stay.
Right, and for people who just maybe come to Lowville just for like the Lowville Fest or the baby doll dance, this is a reason to make a plan, stay close to home, and have a really nice time.
Yeah, we have a lot of wonderful things going on in Lowville with the dam being removed at the river there, and hopefully some kayakers, a dock for the kayakers, and Carchetti's restaurant is just across the tracks. Molillo's almost next door. So a lot of good things happening in Lowville of late, and me and my family were happy to be part of
this resurgence.
Exactly.
Which I think is a really
saving some of these old buildings. There's a lot of stories to be told by them, and you can't just let them degrade and be bulldozed over and replaced with the newness today. The kids need to have, a basis from which to remember where it is that we came from in a lot of respects. And the masons alone, that these walls are 12 inches thick of brick, the effort, and they're still beautiful buildings. They're solid. They just need love. You got to rip out what's old and ugly, and just, unfortunately for this building here, almost everything was removed and replaced, but the essence of it,
you can still feel it.
Is here.
You can.
Yes.
For people that want to look it up on Airbnb, what is the name that they should be typing in?
It's Carlson's Swing Shop, but if you just go to Airbnb and the location, it'll ask you where do you want to stay, or just type in Lowville, Ohio. Yeah, and I think we're the first one that comes up. Yeah.
I think it's great. Thank you for having us out here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming.
Thanks for seeing such, strength in the past and giving it that love and effort it deserved. Okay.
Appreciate that.
We'll give you an elbow.
Okay.
Valley Spotlight elbow. I know you like that.
I know. I gotta get the shoulder going and then look out.
Yeah, and then get your brother to come up
he would
from
like
Kentucky.
That. He would like that because he
invite
doesn't
all your
like
friends.
Dave doesn't like to play a full 18 holes anyhow.
This is the perfect place for him because he can take a nap.
You hit a couple shots, you sit down. That's perfect for him.
Smoke a cigar, no big deal.
He would like that.
Ray is a wonderful guy, and we were so grateful to have a first glimpse at that right when it hit the market. So Airbnb.com, Carlson's Swing Shop in Lowville, Ohio.
Okay.
All right, you had a chance to sit down with our resident historian who has a book that is literally almost sold out on Amazon already, and we've barely even talked about it.
Right. This is a part of the Loose trilogy. The third book is out, and here you go. Here's me and Sean to talk about it. Well, for months we've been talking about Sean Posey's latest book, Hidden History of Youngstown and the Mahoning Valley, and Sean is here because finally it's out, right?
Just came out last week.
How long did it take?
The writing of it took about most of the pandemic up until about last fall.
Okay.
But the research was kind of years in the making. I originally was thinking about doing a series of essays for the Vindicator, like kind of a history column before, of course, the Vindicator unfortunately closed. Right. So I put that aside, and when the pandemic started, I did a piece looking back at the Spanish flu in the Mahoning Valley for Metro Monthly. And after I did that, and it became clear that pandemic that we were in, COVID-19, was going to be going on for quite a while, I decided to kind of bring all this work together, figure out how to put it into a book, basically a series of essays looking at more obscure parts, but important parts of Youngstown history.
And that's kind of the time frame we're talking about, beginning of the 1900s?
A lot of that. There are some things in here that people will have lived through. Some stuff from the 50s and the 60s that people will recognize, I think, right away. They'll recognize or have heard about it or know the time frame. But there was a lot of very early 20th century history that I think people will be very surprised to read about.
Isn't it eerie how the Spanish flu mimics our pandemic a little bit? Or more than a little bit?
I start out that chapter talking about, the city being locked down, nobody on the streets, restaurants closed, social distancing, and then I say, sounds like today, right? But this is actually 1918. much of the same stuff going on.
And the stories in this book are just kind of little tidbits, things you found out along the way, or how, when it says hidden history, what do you mean?
You know, sometimes I think of hidden history as forgotten history.
Okay.
So things that my grandfather might have lived through, probably did live through, and would have known about. But people that today, his generation is gone, people today are going to be probably mostly unaware of.
Did you kind of fall into this history buff thing, or was that something you always liked?
In a way, I did. I have a master's degree in history.
Okay.
And you know, I had to do a lot of research during it because I did a thesis and everything. And all my research that I did, I tried to do using local resources. So kind of telling national history through history in the Mahoning Valley.
Mm-hmm. Is there a part of this book or a story in this book where even you were kind of caught off guard?
Yes, several. One in particular, the history of the Mahoning County Infirmary. Mm-hmm. I really didn't know much about infirmaries. You know, one time almost every county in Ohio had what people called a poorhouse or a county home or infirmary where people went, lived, and died, and very often were buried at. And that's really a whole kind of forgotten chapter of American history.
Sure.
But it was interesting to do, and also interesting because I actually live on part of the old Mahoning County Infirmary farm. There was a farm, and I live on part of that, what used to be that property.
So there was, maybe there could be some bodies or deceased people that were buried in your yard or under your house?
That's possible. There were a couple of, it's not clear how many cemeteries there were. One of them I have pinpointed, and I actually have photographs of the headstones. There are definitely bodies buried in some of the surrounding neighborhoods still.
How do you get the stories? Do you just go newspaper accounts, or do you get them from people, or how do you do it, and how do you get the pictures?
You know, people who are interested can look in the bibliography. I have all my sources, and I have them broken down. I try to use a variety of things: newspapers, oral histories, government documents, all kinds of things. Local government documents, national too, national archives. So a variety of different research. I try to fill it out as much as possible. The pictures might be the hardest part. I've gotten pictures from everywhere. Sometimes it's just like you have to go on a hunt.
Sure.
And you have to be single-minded about where can I find these photos. I have to find every single source because a lot of them are just, and you have to think about it when you're writing about a subject, because there have been things that I've wanted to write about.
Yeah.
I just can't find any photos.
Do you do that? Do you find a photo and write the story, or is it the other way around? Write the story and try to find a picture.
I try to
about
come
it.
up with an idea, and then before I get too deep in it, see if there's actually any photographs pertaining to that. And sometimes there isn't.
I would think when people pick up your books, they probably recognize some of the people in the pictures or recognize the stories.
When I did Lost Youngstown, a woman got a hold of me a few months after it came out, and her mother was on the cover in this kind of a group of people on the street, and her mother was still alive.
Oh, wow.
Well into her 90s, and I thought that was interesting. So that was one I actually got to hear about.
So there's been 3 books. Are you good for a little bit, or is there something percolating in there that you want to do next?
I think I'm good for a little bit. It's just, writing a book, as you might imagine, it's a lot of work, and it's pretty...
I'd never do it.
It's pretty exhausting.
It's way too hard.
Yeah,
I mean, in theory, it's a great idea. Well, you should write a book.
Right.
But then you try writing the book.
And it's, and you in a way, you have to get consumed with it too.
Yeah.
Just in order to really do it. Because if you're not, you're probably just never going to finish it.
Right. All right, so the book is out. Tell people how they can find it.
Sure. All of the usual suspects online. So Amazon, Target, Walmart, Barnes & Noble. Here in town, people have told me they've seen it here, they've seen it there. I know for a fact that Barnes & Noble in Boardman is definitely a place that's going to have it.
Very cool, and what a great gift idea. Like sometimes your dad's got enough golf shirts to wear one the rest of his life every single day. But this is something really unique and different.
Absolutely.
I think. Well, it's about $20, right?
Yeah.
Not too bad.
That's right.
Not too bad. Check it out, Hidden History of Youngstown in the Mahoning Valley. And thanks for the book, but not only that, thank you for doing all the great things you do on our show. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on.
All right, Sean Posey, everybody. So, how about that? The guy may live in a haunted house, it turns out.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
And you know what? So many of our friends and family, we hadn't even really told them about it yet. But Mark ordered the book. Fred's mom ordered the book. I ordered the book. I haven't ordered a book in 10 years.
It's a good gift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, your dad doesn't need another shirt. It's just a nice gift.
And you learn something.
Right.
And he has such a way of putting things, he's so knowledgeable, so cool, cooler than me, that's for sure. How about a Galentine's?
All right, let's talk about Valentine's Day weekend. First, on the Valentine's Day, I'm looking at the featured menu.
Can you
get
see them
1,
through
2,
your
3,
glasses?
4 courses here.
Yes, 4
so talk
courses.
about that first.
Yes. we're having a-
Which Valentine's Day weekend? The one before it or the one after it?
It's the one before.
Okay.
So we'll have that Friday and Saturday.
You want to look at it? Cheat sheet?
No,
You got
it's
it?
okay. It's
All
a
right.
4-course dinner. It's fabulous. We have lots of. It is reservation only, but.
And
no,
there's
you can walk
lobster
in, but
bisque
we
and
want
lobster risotto
reservation.
on there.
A good salad, beef tenderloin, and dessert, a chocolate torte with raspberry in it. So good. And then Galentine's Day is
on Sunday.
Sunday the 13th.
The 13th.
Okay.
So if you don't have that significant other,
Or if you don't like him that much.
yeah, just
That
get
happens.
together with your girlfriends
All right.
or guy friends and come to Galentine Day on February 13th.
Yeah, $25, and you get a cocktail too. Lobster eggs Benedict, a strawberry waffle tower, which I would love.
Whoa.
Strata, rancheros, croque madame. Is that how I say that?
Yes.
What is that?
Croque Madame, it's an open-faced sandwich,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
has ham and cheese and
Oh, yeah.
lots
I like
of stuff
that.
on it with a egg on top.
Oh, nice. Plus
Yes.
desserts and martinis and all sorts of great things.
Yes.
And you get to experience everything that we've mentioned out here. Wonderful people. You get to see Char, and that's a win all by itself. So we appreciate you having
Thank
us, and it's so good to see you.
Thank
It's been
you
too
so
long.
much.
It's been like years.
Been a minute. We'll come back.
Yes.
If
Thank
you
you
let
for
us.
coming.
No problem.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. All right, we did a story on classic cars, so we thought our retromercial today would be the old Chevy Blazer, which Chris Haus absolutely loves. So before we go, though, tell them how they can watch us.
ValleySpotlight.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download our Roku channel to any of your TVs and YouTube. We're everywhere. You can't get away from us.
If you're tuning in late, Chardonnay's 234-806-4913 or CharBenay.com, correct?
Correct.
All right.
One
Happy
more
Sunday.
cheers.
Good job, you guys.
It was so fun.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
This is today's Chevrolet. With the year-round versatility of S10 Blazer. In spring, Blazer's right on the job or on the town. In summer, Blazer lets you get to work or get away. In fall, Blazer's ready for the chores or for the fun. In winter, Blazer's a great outdoor sport. Chevy S10 Blazer. Every season, you'll find more reasons to own one. No wonder S10 Blazer's the best-selling sport utility vehicle in America.
If you like this video, subscribe to Valley Spotlight on YouTube and be sure to click on the notifications bell so you know when we've got some new stuff. You also can like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to us on Vimeo or our Roku channel.